All right, do you want to sing a little jingle? Welcome to KT Confidential,
Please stop singing.
where we talk real estate. All right, what's up, everybody? This is episode 82 of KT Confidential, the real estate podcast. I'm Adrian, and
I'm Ariel.
this is Ariel. So what's up, Ariel? What did you have for breakfast today?
I had a smoothie, an acai and chocolate and blueberry smoothie.
Chocolate,
Yeah.
Interesting. Dark chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Frozen dark
Good.
chocolate, blueberries, fresh blueberries, some yogurt, some coconut milk, some acai juice, and I finished it. And I had a black coffee, 2 glasses of water, and I'm feeling lean and mean.
That's good.
How about you? Don't tell me granola and yogurt.
No, not today. Today I just had 2 poached eggs on toast, brown bread, toasted, tiny little bit of butter.
You know how toast works, yeah.
And just implying or letting you know the type of bread. It was whole wheat bread, and a side of cottage cheese.
That's nice.
Yeah, and
nothing on top of your egg.
Pepper.
Nothing on top of the toast. Just toast, egg, little pepper.
Just simple. Yeah. Sometimes I put cheese, but I'm trying to cut back on cheese.
How do you like your poached egg? Do you like it?
I like it runny.
Like easy. Really runny? Like
yeah,
really
usually
easy,
like 3 minutes or so is kind of perfect for me. So yeah, I like it really runny. Not like, obviously I like it cooked. Like I remember we went once to that restaurant for breakfast and they didn't even cook your egg.
Yeah, remember? All of the white was still all goopy, runny.
I don't like runny white.
Do you have a poaching mechanism or do you just do the swirl and drop it in?
Swirl and drop. Now, if I have a lot of eggs, I will sometimes, like if I'm making for the family, I find it gets a bit messy putting 6 eggs into a pot. And often they break apart more for some reason. So what I'll do then is I put a piece of saran wrap over a bowl. I just spray oil on the saran wrap so it doesn't stick. Drop an egg into the saran wrap, wrap it up nice and tight, get all the air, most of the air out. So I have these little pouches and I tie it. I have these little pouches and they come out nice that way and you don't lose any egg at all. It's a bit wasteful with the saran wrap, I suppose, but.
Well, and me personally, I'd be concerned of any leaching from the saran wrap into your food, but.
No, it works fine. I got that from, I think it was Jamie Oliver or Gordon Ramsay. Those are the 2 I follow. But that works really well.
I love a good poached egg. There's something to be said about a good poached egg. And I've actually been eating a lot more soft boiled eggs. So I'm a big hard boiled egg fan and having those handy, especially, to give yourself some protein through the day. But I've been cooking them now a little bit softer and softer each time and not runny at all, just a little bit of the softness and still, touch runny yolk. It's quite nice. I like it. Anyways.
Well, I grew up with my grandmother used to always make me soft boiled eggs, and then she chopped the top off and cut my bread, butter the bread, and chop it into little strips. She called them soldiers, and I dipped my soldiers into my egg, and I love that.
Right.
So, on to real estate. You wanted to talk about something that's very relevant right now, and that is the market is heating up, and we're taking a lot of buyers out to look at houses, but it's not business as usual per se. And how we go out to see houses, there's a lot more to the process, both from our perspective, from booking the appointments to physically arriving at the property and walking through.
Well, I know you didn't necessarily want to have this as a topic in today's podcast, but I think it's really important. Well, I think your comment to me was Isn't this now kind
Old
of
news or
past
something?
old news kind of thing? But I don't think it is, because I don't think a lot of people fully understand what the process is now of buying real estate, because it's very, very different today than it would have been a few months ago. So you posted a story on Instagram about sitting down in your home and having a Zoom chat with your buyers, and how you were virtually walking through the properties with them. So do you want to talk a little bit about that process? Because I think that's, I think a lot of people now, they see a home online, they might contact a realtor and not fully understand what's the next step now, right? Like we're not just saying, okay, home came up on the market, let's go and see it. There's new protocols that, especially in our team, that we're taking from all aspects.
Well, let's start with the fact that, first of all, I think a lot of real estate agents make a huge mistake, and it's part lazy, part not educated on the best practices. And what they do is they just set up clients on auto emails and send all these listings to them. And I think for certain people, maybe there's a time and place and certain type of person at a certain time in their search for a house where that may be suitable if they're just casually looking. But I find as a real estate agent, we have maybe a more keen eye when we're looking at a property online, and we're more likely able to determine if it's a suitable house or not a suitable house. So just to start, I think one of the most important things that real estate agents can do is stop emailing listings to their clients and letting their clients decide if they're suitable or not. Start educating yourself on what your clients actually want and what will appeal to them, and put in the legwork. Set up those auto emails to yourself so you get notified of new listings. Then go in, search through them, pick out the ones that are important, and then bring that to your client. Normally, I would just say, okay, well, meet me here on Thursday at 5:00.
So I just want to backtrack a little bit, because we do have realtors that watch and listen to the show, and but for the bulk of people out there that are relying on their realtor for that information, to just put in general sense and general terms, what you're saying is, right now is not the time to be having a massive list of homes that potentially you have zero interest in. So if you've said, as a buyer, you said to us, I have to have, let's just say, a living room, dining room combined, and I don't want them separated. Oftentimes, the listings won't be able to decipher that when they're emailing them out. And in previous, in 3 months, 4 months ago, if that home came up and it didn't have a living dining room combination that you wanted, we still may have said, okay, let's just go see it anyway for fun, or let's just go see it so we can educate ourselves on the market, or whatever. But now we really are doing a lot more due diligence from a realtor standpoint to make sure the homes that you are going to see fit very, very squarely into your needs and wants lists. And in fact, the last 3 buyer transactions that we've done, all 3 of them were one showing. So you went out, you saw the house, you liked it, you bought it. I know you're going to go show some homes later in the week, but you've narrowed it down. So let's talk about that process. So the buyer that you chatted with a few days ago.
Yes. So we've had discussions. Obviously, I know what they want, what they're looking for, where they're looking to buy. We've narrowed it down to a general area. So that's really important, first of all. So what we did is I went out and I found 9 properties that fit best into their criteria. And then we had a Zoom call to chat about it. And I did a screen share. And we walked through each listing. And I sent these listings to them about an hour, 2 hours before the call. They went through them quickly at that point too. I don't. I generally don't like to send it too early because I don't want our clients to formulate the decision on their own before we have that discussion. Because sometimes there's things they don't think about that may be worth considering before they write a property off. As an example,
and to your point. To your point, I mean, we see hundreds of listings a week and know what to look for. And even, I'll give you an example. There's a home that just went on the market in Milton that my clients have been waiting for a long time. We knew it was coming up on the market. Very desirable neighborhood, beautiful curb appeal, really, really nice from the outside. And we reviewed it online, and they realized the home is just too small for them. But then, when I saw a picture of the kitchen, you can see on the cabinetry all of the wear and tear.
Yes.
And that it even though it was updated at some point, it needs either to be professionally painted or new cabinet doors or something along those lines. So it's going to need a bit of TLC. They didn't pick up on that.
Right.
So, we have a keen eye for those things because that's what we do. That's our profession, right? So, So it is much easier to have actually a screen share Zoom chat where you're talking to each other, going through the listing in detail, going through the photos in detail. And if the property offers that 3D tour where you can plop yourself in anywhere and look around, it's pretty close to being there without smelling, feeling, and touching it.
Sometimes you don't want to smell it.
That's true.
This particular couple that I'm working with now, they were pretty set on buying a 4-bedroom house because they want the 4th bedroom as an office. So they had limited their search to 4 bedrooms. I'd pick a couple. I chose a couple of 3 bedrooms, so I didn't exclude those from my searches because I know that there are other configurations that may still suit that, be it a finished basement with an office, a room that could be used as an office, or a den or an extra space on the main level that could be used as an office. And a lot of people, a lot of real estate agents, when they set up these auto searches and choose the criteria, you're missing a lot of opportunities. And at the same time, you're also probably sending a lot of listings that are just not suitable and you're wasting time.
Well, and 3-bedroom versus 4-bedroom, if it has a loft,
yes,
it would be identified as a 3-bedroom still, not a 4-bedroom, even though a loft could be used as an office or potentially closed off as another bedroom. Okay, So you reviewed the listings together online, you narrowed it down.
Yes, so we had...
And now you're going to go and see a couple.
We had 9 on the list. We actually didn't narrow it down a lot. There's a lot of prospective properties that from that list. So we filtered out 3. We're down to 6. So I booked 6 appointments. Of those 6, not all of them are actually available, despite saying otherwise online. So we're going to go see them today, though. I believe we've got 4 that we can see. So step 1, have the Zoom call, screen share, go through each listing in detail, rank them, and then choose which ones you want to see. Step 2 is for us as real estate agents booking these appointments. Now, most of these homeowners and real estate brokerages that are listing the homes have procedures in place because of COVID-19, where we have to sign off on disclosures and things like that before we go see the properties.
You're basically signing a waiver before they will confirm an appointment. And that waiver says you haven't been out of the country, you're not experiencing any symptoms, you're not sick, you haven't come into contact with anybody that's sick, yada, yada, yada. And that's got to be signed electronically before even getting a confirmation for that showing.
Yes. So we booked the appointments.
And we have that process for our own listings and our sellers. So our sellers are signing a waiver saying that they haven't experienced any symptoms, and they're signing off on that. And then anybody viewing our properties will also have to fill out that disclosure prior to booking a showing or prior to getting a confirmation on a showing. Yes.
That's right. Well, and one of the things that make it more complicated for some people, parents specifically, is one of the requirements at most properties. Now, this isn't consistent across the board. Everybody has their own policies. There's no laws about this or board enforced rules. But one common one is no unnecessary visitors attending the appointment, primarily children. So usually they just want the purchaser or purchasers, so if it's a couple,
and that's
plus the realtor, 3 people, no kids. So you've got to either leave them in the car,
cousins,
or leave them at home, or arrange for whatever, which, at this time is not convenient for most because it may be hard to get help with the kids. So these people I'm working with, their kids are old enough to sit in the car and play on their iPads or something while we go in. So it's fine. But for others with younger children, it might be a bit challenging. But it is what it is, and respectfully to the homeowners that they're concerned about COVID-19, and kids are hard to keep under control. And from my experience, it's not realistic to think that all parents have as much control over their children as some others may.
It's not that hard to do it if you switch, right? So we did that at our home inspection the other day. Husband came in.
Yeah.
Wife stayed in the car with the kids, and then husband came back out, stayed with the kids. Wife went in.
That's what we've kind of resorted to in those cases, and it works fine. It's just a little bit more time consuming, which can also be a challenge. Because before we were booking hour time slots, and each one would kind of overlap each house a little bit, so they had some flexibility, not knowing exactly how long you take at each house, when you might arrive at the next house. Now, a lot of listings, you're only allowed a 30-minute window because they don't want people overlapping. And in order to get enough people through the house, they have to restrict your time allowance. Yeah. So that's a bit more challenging with making sure we get to appointments on time and having sufficient time in the house, especially if it's something that really interests them. They may want to take their time and walk through. So the next step, though, is when you're at the house, a lot of these places, not all, but many of them do want you to wear PPE, personal protective equipment, primarily gloves and masks. So that's new. For some people, it's awkward. It's interesting.
I want to talk a little. You're touching on a subject that we should kind of talk about what we've done on our team.
Yes.
Is prepared sealed kits.
Yeah.
And they are available. We'll put an image of it, or if anybody has any questions or wants to see a package, whatever, feel free to leave a comment below or DM us. By the way, I'm just going to sidetrack here. If you're watching this video on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe, because we've got a lot of great updated content coming out your way in regards to what's happening in the market, what's happening now, things that you need to know about in real estate, whether you're just a fan of real estate as a whole or decorating or renovating, whatever. Make sure you subscribe.
And hit that like button and subscribe.
Yes.
And you'll get and turn your notifications on. You'll get more notifications as we post these videos.
So we've made these kits, and they're available to all of our buyers, all of our staff, and anybody visiting any of our properties. We are providing them complimentary. They're beautiful sealed kits. We've got nice labeling with nice description there of instructions on how to view a property right now. And in those kits, mask, gloves, and booties. So you don't have to take off your shoes and walk around in somebody's home either barefooted or with socks, and then worry about, the dirt and anything that may have attached itself to your socks. So we provide it to you outside of the home, and now you get to view a home while being protected.
Even after this, I think I'm going to keep providing the booties. I think they're great. I hate taking my shoes off.
I think it's a good addition. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, and I, you know, how many times I've come home from a showing and I literally threw my socks out because I didn't want them going into my laundry, or, you know, God knows what you stepped on. Like there are some
houses are dirty.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, in the summertime, I wear sandals often.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around
barefoot in somebody else's dirty house.
Yeah, no. And
yeah,
well, you know how many times I walked into a dirty bathroom and I got some pubic hair on my feet?
Oh my goodness!
Man.
I remember the time you saw some on the ceiling.
Yeah. In the shower. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's different for sure. It's for many. It's for a lot of people who haven't been going out. It's hard. I mean, it's a weird feeling. Like you're so distracted by all the changes and the masks and the gloves, and you're really not. It's really hard to enjoy the property as much as you would otherwise. It's something that takes some getting used to, I'll say, especially for people that haven't been leaving their house. I've spoken with many people that want to go out and buy a property, some for personal use, some for investment purposes, but they're very hesitant. They're actually scared to go out because they've been confined in their house for so long that it's like a new experience for them. It's very odd, and I mean, I'm certainly looking forward to being done with all of this because it's not fun. But you know, these are the precautions that we're taking to keep everybody safe and to respect the homeowners as you're going into somebody else's private property.
Yeah. And now with our listings, with our own properties, we are providing these kits, these packages right out front the door.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you arrive as a buyer of one of our properties or as an agent, you now have them available to you to use, courtesy of our team, to make sure that you guys are protected and that our homeowner is protected as well. So that has definitely changed. Certainly added a big cost.
I mean, just on a side note, I mean, obviously they're there for people to use, and that's why we bought them. But I think personally, I would get my own. I wouldn't want to use somebody else's, even if it's been packaged nicely. But you know, I would say as a last resort, it's nice to have there, and I think agents should provide it for prospective showings, because not everybody's going to be following protocol. Not everybody's going to have their own. But for me, I'd rather travel with my own stuff and wear it into each property. Just my personal preference. And up until now, that's what I was doing.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of realtors aren't providing it as of right now. I think that might improve. I don't think it's going to be eliminated. But for our listings, it's mandatory. So if you don't have it on you, we've provided it.
Yeah. And we got cameras. Don't try to sneak in that house without that PPE. We're watching.
Right. Every one of our properties have a camera watching who's coming in and who's coming out.
Yeah.
And we're going to come after you if you're not wearing it. So
that's right.
Be forewarned. So that is a little bit different. And now, you know, the other thing that's different that many people don't realize is that we're not doing in-home consultations unless necessary. I mean, we've always been on the list of essential services. We decided to kind of shut things down and let things get better, I suppose. And in the last couple of weeks, we've really ramped it up and have been very, very busy. So we've implemented so many new protocols and safeguards and you know, things to keep our own staff safe but also our clients. But the way that we do business is going to be different. So if you're contacting us as a buyer, you know, we're not meeting for a coffee anymore. We're doing these kind of.
Well, there is nowhere to meet for a coffee.
Well, Starbucks is open.
You can go in the store.
You can. Yeah.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just drove by on Main Street yesterday, and
Actually, that makes sense because I've seen people down at Jay's Ice Cream on Main Street.
Yeah, ice cream is essential. Holy smokes!
Well, coffee is essential. Well, for some, perhaps.
Well, I think half of the planet would be very grumpy without coffee in some.
Well, if you haven't already, go to our Instagram page, click on the link in our bio, and download the money savings tips guide. 37 free tips. Number one is make your coffee at home because you'll save about 90% of the cost. So that is why I did not know Starbucks is not open, because I make my own coffee at home.
It's amazing. I went through that money savings guide a couple of times now.
Yeah.
And every time I read it, I remind myself to check certain things of where the money's going, or remind myself, oh yeah, I didn't do this or I did do that. And Steve's blog on the apps that help you save money, that's a game changer too. So definitely, if you haven't downloaded this guide yet, click the link in our Insta bio. We can even put a link below here in the podcast description, and download the guide. It's free. There's no obligation for anything. Some great tips there. So, and if you still haven't done so, turn on the notifications and like and subscribe wherever you're listening or watching, because we've got some great stuff coming down the pipeline for you. All real estate related, but some giveaways too. You started to launch the Save 100 hashtag.
Hashtag Save 100. That's our hashtag.
Is that how you do a hashtag?
That's how you do it. Yeah. That's how Jimmy Fallon and JT do it when they're doing their hashtag montage. The premise of this is...
Hang on, I didn't finish.
Okay, go. Hurry up.
So if you're buying or selling a home and you contact us, the first step is this Zoom chat. We can't go out for coffee. That's where we got derailed. So we can't go out for coffee. So we're having a Zoom chat. I like it better. You know why? Because as a consumer, you can be in your pajamas at home. The kids are upstairs. They're playing, they're sleeping, or they're running around like crazy people. You don't have to clean all your dishes and wipe down the toilet seat and do all these things to prepare for somebody coming to your house. So we can still have a face-to-face. We can talk. We can do so casually. My last one was done with a glass of wine, and we had that virtual beverage together. It was really nice. And while we're talking, I can screen share anything that I want to review with you, whether it's documents or our KT catalog or a property brochure or a listing, whatever. It's very, very convenient. You can do it from your phone, from your laptop, from your desktop. You can do it while you're in bed. It's such a better way of connecting. Now, you lose that little bit of that personal connection. It's not the same.
I think you lose a lot of it. I like to a degree. I mean, it's certainly convenient, but to a degree.
But it's not as efficient.
Oh, no, obviously. But
it's not as efficient. And people nowadays, like, why do we order things online? Why is Amazon killing it? Not just during COVID, but pre-COVID.
There's a difference between products and services, though.
I used to love going to Blockbuster and standing in front and trying to pick a movie for a half an hour, okay? I miss that too. But hello, Netflix, which would you prefer now, right? So things are changing, Adrian, so you might have to loosen up a bit on that. But
no, I'm not. I get it. I adapt. I'm ahead of the curve. But I'm just saying, I'm giving my personal opinion, saying I do enjoy, and from a service perspective, which is different from products to a degree, I do like that one-on-one person-to-person contact, which we still have to a degree through this.
It's not the same. It's not. I agree with you. It's not the same because, it's like if you were dating and, you meet somebody online, you can have FaceTimes and all this, but you don't get that connection really until you meet that person in person. You can hug them in person. You might not know how to do that now, but I don't know.
Right.
I wonder, just as a side note, and I'll go off real estate just for a second, and I don't know how many single people watch or listen, but what's happening? What would happen right now with single people? Like, you can't meet anybody or do anything, right? So are you doing everything through FaceTime? I don't know. Maybe people are going to get married virtually.
Maybe that's
You
a
know,
possibility. I mean, a lot of people have had to cancel weddings, so
yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
true. A lot of things got canceled, birthday parties and vacations and weddings and God knows what. But anyway, so real estate's a little bit different now if you're buying or selling. There are some protocols. If you have any questions about what's the process, or you're unclear about something, whether it's paperwork or protecting yourself or your property. Like, a lot of people that are thinking of listing their home, they're wondering, okay, well, how does this work right now with people coming in my house, or I'm not totally comfortable. So we're always happy to chat about the protocols and the the safety measures that we're putting in place.
The one challenge people are having right now is when they have showings from a seller's perspective. This is not buyers. From a seller's perspective, when you have showings coming through, where do you go? There's nowhere to go. I mean, you can't even, are you allowed to go to parks right now? I don't think you can go to parks. Some places, maybe.
Well, you can walk through parks. You can't use any of the facility.
Yeah. So it's not fun. But I mean, if you are sitting on the fence and wanting to do something, know that there are processes in place to make it happen. And the market is quite hot right now. There's a lot of activity. We're getting bombarded with inquiries. So just know that there is still a great opportunity. It's just we have had to adapt to the times.
Yeah, I think the next 3 to 4 months are going to be very, very busy, if not longer, if not like, because we're going to have a wave now of people that want to take advantage and move in during the summer months, take advantage of low supply from a selling standpoint, and potentially a little bit lower pricing from a buyer standpoint. Not much, but
yeah.
We know, and all the signs indicate that for us in Halton and Peel and Hamilton and Wellington regions, the prices are going to go up. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
So if you're buying, you want to get in now. If you're selling, you want to buy something else. Now would be the time to do that too, right? Like, you want to sell and buy in the same market. In fact, if you're selling and buying something else, you're selling after you buy in most cases. So you're buying a little bit lower potentially as a percentage than you would if you're buying. So it's a very, very good time to be getting into real estate. If
the key is because there's no questioning we are still in uncertain times. So you never know what could happen. I mean, COVID-19 could come back for phase 2, which may or may not happen. So the important thing is to make sure you are doing everything within the same market. So if you are planning to move, which means you're buying a house and selling a house, you need to have your house ready to go. So if you're buying first and then selling, you need to be reaching out to your real estate agent immediately. You need to be getting the staging consultation done. You need to have the house ready to go so that as soon as you find a house to buy, you can pull the trigger on listing yours. Because I've had situations where people left it to the last minute. They didn't want to bother their real estate agent because they were just casually looking. And then all of a sudden, the perfect house came up. They bought it. It took them a month to get their house ready to list. A lot can happen in a month, and you're taking a big risk by doing it that way.
I'll give you an example of a similar, of a situation I was discussing with a client of mine just on Friday. They found a home that they were interested in, but the seller wants a January 2021 closing.
Wow.
And we're end of May, beginning of June, when we had this discussion on Friday, beginning of June. So you're talking 6-7 month period.
Yeah.
I said to them, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be selling and buying in 2 different time frames, because if you buy with a closing date of January, that means you're listing your home probably in October, November, which generally is a good time. But between June and October, November, we're talking 4 or 5 months. I don't know what's going to happen. the market could take a bit of a kicking. If like you said, if COVID comes back for a second wave because people are being stupid and making out with these people they met online in the parks, I don't know. That's just my going back to my online dating example, but you know what I mean? Like,
is that what you did? Is that personal reference?
No, I've never done online dating. Never could. I don't know. I haven't been single in 9 years, but even back then, maybe it's just because my photos were too ugly. I'm better looking in person, but never. Although one of my best friends, him and his wife have been together for years. They met on Plenty of Fish, so it works for a lot of people. But what I'm saying is, if people are, well, you see what's happening in the parks in Toronto, right? Like,
look around the world. There's
people gathering and being stupid.
Thousands of people protesting side by side.
Yeah, so you never know what's going to happen with this. If there is a second wave or something, it could affect the real estate market because it could affect the economy. It could affect people's affordability and overall savings and blah, 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 blah. So if that happens, I don't know, does real estate go on a pause again? Because I don't believe anything happened with real estate in the last 3 months. Everything just kind of paused and we went back to maybe, I like to say it's like a new year. It's the start of a new year for us. I don't know, but I'd be buying and selling in a short time frame, 60 to 90 day window, where it all gets wrapped up all in that time frame. So anyways, things have definitely
changed. The key is
changed.
just be ready to go.
Be ready to go. Things have changed a little bit, but they are very efficient times. And, you just got to reach out and get the proper help and be sure you're dealing with a pro that knows how to deal with everything behind the scenes, whether it's paperwork, showings, somebody that's prepared. So, of course, if you're thinking of buying or selling your real estate, you have any questions, you want us to give you a value on your home or talk about what might be available in your price range, leave a comment, send us a DM. We keep telling you, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and turn the notifications on because the next few podcasts are gonna be fire.
And that's it.
Episode 82.
Have a good day, man.
You too. Peace. I gotta go sell a house.
Ciao.